Welcome to Rainer on Leadership. Usually Rainer on Leadership is Thom Rainer. Sometimes it's Sam Rainer. Occasionally it's Jess Rainer. This time, Rainer on Leadership is Art Rainer. Welcome, Art.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well,
It's always good to get an invite from you.
Well, this is going to be a fun one for more reasons than one, and we'll be talking about that. But anyway, y'all know Art Rainer. We're going to be talking to him about the one simple move a church can make to increase its giving by 20% or more. So we'll be coming back on that in just a moment. Got two sponsors that I want to thank, and the first one that I'll be mentioning, I'll talk about the other one at the end, is Upward Sports. So Art, I was at the Cove the week that we're recording this, and I talked to 300, 400 people in the plenary session 4 times, and I talked to over 100 pastors one-on-one.
Wow.
This is the next day, and I'm the only introvert in our family.
See, I have a little bit of introvert in me. Of course,
that's true.
I compare it. Your point of comparison matters, right? So in my family, which is me, Sarah, and my 3 boys, I am the most introvert of the 5. And so I didn't realize I had a little bit of introvert in me until, I had my family, and they're like extroverts. Sarah's off the scale extrovert. And so I have a little bit of introvert in me.
So is it that that you're an introvert, or you just cannot work a word in? That's how it is when I'm with your family. Between your 3 sons and your wife, I'm just, what, who, why?
They are verbose and very, very active. So yes, it's true. It's sometimes difficult to get a word in. So I don't know. Compared to you, I'm an extrovert. Compared to my wife, I'm an introvert.
Okay. Compared to your wife, everybody's an introvert. Compared to me, everybody's an extrovert.
That's true.
That is the way it is. So I was talking to a lot of people at the Cove, and one of them came up to me and said, I absolutely love Upward. I said, tell me about it. I said, it has become our go-to outreach. Thom, I used to ask you, how can I reach out to my community? I said, have y'all tried Upward to use sports? It's an outreach for your community. They did it. They love it. And they've learned how to assimilate people into it. Hey, as you look forward to 2025, consider adding sports outreach to your ministry to reach new families, to reach younger families. Quit complaining that, hey, we got to compete with Sunday sports. No, you become during the week and Saturday sports. You can do it yourself. Now's the time to schedule and get a first-class organized intentional league in the new year. You can do it. Upward will supply everything you need. They'll customize it. They'll partner with you. They'll instruct you. They'll let you do basketball or cheerleading or soccer or flag football or volleyball or basketball, or it just goes on and on and on. I love those folks. I absolutely love those folks. Upward has become one of my favorite ministries because they're so community focused. It's a way for people to reach churches to reach people in the community. So, Art, we're going to talk about something, even though we are discussing this in September, releasing it on September 17th, we're going to talk about something that will be released actually in about 2 months from this release. And it's an exciting new ministry, and you're going to be a part of it. And it's called My Church Staff. We're going to be talking about that in just a moment. But I want you to just give us an update on some of the things that's going on in the world of Christian finance. First of all, tell us about your research project, because we can provide a link to our listeners if they want to learn more about that research project. So give us that.
Oh man, I was really excited about the report that we were able to produce. So it's the Christian Financial Health Report, and it's over 100 pages of graphs if you're visual, and I don't know how many different data points and stats that help us understand where Christians are in the area of personal finances. So we asked a large group of people from all across the nation, all of them were Christians, about their financial well-being. How stressed are you right now? We asked them about their debt. their savings, their retirement. We ask them about their generosity. We ask them questions like, did you do any type of financial health class at a church? And so we looked at all of these data points and we tried to see, okay, where are Christians right now in the area of personal finances? And the richness of the report is it really is incredible, and is such an amazing tool, not just for those in personal finances, but for those in ministry, because these are the people in your congregation. You can better understand what they're experiencing, why they give the way that they give. Um, highly recommend. You can learn more about it by going to christianfinancialhealth.com. So christianfinancialhealth.com. You'll see there right up at the top a tab that says report. And if you click on that, you'll find the Christian Financial Health Report.
All right, we're going to put that link in the show notes. I just wrote it down in case y'all looked at me looking down. I was writing it down even as Art spoke of it. If you're interested in that research project, and you well should be, because it is a good one. Hey, Art, here's a question. A little bit of prefatory comment, then the question. You, as you work with Church Answers, as you work in your own ministry, Christian Money Solutions, you talk to a number of pastors. And
Yeah.
sometimes you talk to pastors about their personal finance. You have a lot of conversations with them about that. But you also talk to them about their churches. And do you have any sense of what is going on in the churches where you have contact? What is going on with the finances of the churches? What are they looking at? What are they expected? Just give us some high level information about what's going on in churches financially right now.
Yeah. So with churches today, what I'm hearing the most from pastors is that they're looking for ways to encourage a culture of generosity in their church. They certainly want to increase giving to meet the budget, right? That's a good thing. But more importantly than that, they are looking to help build generous disciples. They recognize that God spoke about money over 2,000 times in Scripture. And Jesus spoke on that topic more than any other topic while he was here on earth. Now, you got to ask the question, why, right? And they recognize that it's because when you're talking about money, you're really talking about the heart. And so they want to figure out ways to develop a culture of generosity, not just to meet the budget, but to help build generous disciples that look more like Christ. And so while there's a focus on the numbers, I'm hearing a major emphasis on the heart, because they ultimately recognize that that's the real issue when you're talking about money.
Well, we gave kind of almost a clickbait type of title to this podcast. The one simple move a church can make to increase the giving by 20% or more. And we first had the caveat that we offer no guarantees. So if it doesn't work, okay, but it could. And there's a good possibility it could do very well. It could even do better. We simply don't know. And when we start talking about pastors, what pastors just say is, please don't put one more thing on my plate. And the thing that many pastors have on their plate today, or if it's a larger church, an XP or an associate pastor, what they have on their plate today is, I may have some people in the church that can do my budget for you, but I've got no one to talk to the people about stewardship, talk to the people about giving. And we'll get into this too, and talk to the people about legacy giving. I want you to talk about that in just a moment. So you and I, Church Answers and Christian Money Solutions, have partnered together. And you're a part of this partnership is going to be, you are going to help every church of any size have a champion or a staff person. Lay person could be volunteer, they could be stipend, a little bit of money. You're going to work with them and tell them what to do every single month. The new ministry is called My Church Staff. And the first one that we're going to be launching is Minister of Music. And right alongside that is the Stewardship Pastor or Stewardship Director. So the idea behind this is that you've got someone in your church that's doing this for you. Talk to us about some of the things you're going to see in My Church Staff.
Yeah, we need to talk to pastors about this particular position. It's a nice to have position, right? Like they want it, but they can't necessarily always afford it. They're not even really sure how to lead the person to develop a culture of generosity in their church. And so I love this concept, and I can't wait to really get this thing started. So the stewardship pastor, the stewardship minister, really oversees two major areas that we're gonna look at: generosity discipleship and financial shepherding. So generosity discipleship deals with the general budget development, not only the creation of the budget, but also encouraging people to give to the general budget. It deals with in the area of legacy giving, special projects, and general generosity communication to the church, which is really key when you're looking to build generous disciples in your church. On the financial shepherding side, you're looking at the areas of stewardship education and financial counseling or coaching. So there's some different ministries that are involved there. Now, once again, you start talking about this, and many will say, I just don't have room for that, whether it's
Okay, let's
budgetarily.
contextualize it,
Yeah,
Art. It's a church of 45
yeah,
in
yeah.
attendance,
And
and they
and
say, "Ain't
so you
no
have,
way. This is what big churches do. I can't do this."
and that's why I said it's referred to as a nice to have position. Many churches don't have it because they're simply not of the size where they feel like they can have one of these. But having somebody to oversee the area of stewardship in your church is so very important. But as you said, the senior pastor's not going to do it. He doesn't have time, and he doesn't have time not only to not do it, but to train somebody to do this, or to guide somebody to do this. Of course, this is where my church staff steps in.
Okay, so let's give the scenario. Let's go back to the pastor of church 45 in attendance. It could be 450 in attendance. It could be 100 in attendance. It could be 1,000 in attendance. Any of these churches, and they really want to see their giving increase. Even more than that, they want their church members to be more generous givers. They want them to grow in Christ in their generosity. And they say, I'd love to have this person. Where do I get this? Well, one of the first things we do is we say, we're going to help you find that person if you don't have them. They're probably
Yep.
in your church. They need to be in your church. And you're going to work with that person every single month. And the total charge for the church of 45 is $100 a month. I, I
It's
don't want to be
incredible.
crass on this, but the, they will get that back multifold in terms of people giving more, not even adding new giving units or people, but just people giving more, because this new process, my church staff is going to allow the pastor to just look at that layperson and say, I need you to take this over. Art's going to work with you. That's pretty much how it works.
Be meeting with them every month, and not only meeting with them and saying, here's what you need to do for the month of November, here's what you need to do for the month of December. We're looking out months in advance. You need to start planning for this in the month of April, for this in the month of July. And we're also looking at the monthly generosity metrics. So you need somebody to track this stuff, and they'll be the ones that will track. They're the ones that are going to communicate with church, with givers. Encouraging them to continue on their generosity. They're going to receive resources every month. They're going to receive a checklist every month, and so it is a great way to take just that next step in your church toward encouraging a culture of generosity. And by the way, so the reason why this one was actually going to, and I hope you don't mind me going here, Dad, this
Go
one was
for it.
going to launch later. This one was going to, I think we were looking at early 2025. That's, I think, what you originally presented to
Late
me.
first quarter, early 2025.
But I stepped in. I said, Dad, you can't do that. This is where so I pushed back. I said, we need to do this now. This needs to be one of the first ones. Why? Because if we can start this in November, that will allow us to capture year-end giving, getting everything ready for December, and launching in January. So these are some key months in the area of stewardship. So you're wrapping up the end of the year. There's a lot of work that needs to take place there where you can really encourage people and remind people to give to their local church, and to start launching some things in January, because that's the time when everybody has their New Year's resolutions. And you want to lean into that and encourage them to do what they feel like God is calling them to do for that season of their life in their area of finances. And so that's why we needed to go ahead and launch this earlier than anticipated.
So let's talk about some logistics, some of the logistics of this. It won't be launched until November, so I want you to hear that. But for those of you who want to get in line and be one of the 25, we're going to have 25 positions open. And what I mean by that, there are 25 churches that will be able to get this staff person who's a person in your church that now becomes the stewardship director, stewardship pastor, minister. You give them the title they want, and they will become that. They'll take it off your plate. They'll do these things every single month, no matter what the size of the church. And your cost is $100 a month. And the likelihood is you're going to get that back pretty quickly, and a whole lot more as more and more people learn about what it means in your church to be a steward. So if you want to get in line, simply write info, info at churchanswers.com. Info in churchanswers.com. You need to say, I am interested in the stewardship pastor for my church. You don't have to call him pastor. You might want to, but I'm interested in that. And for $100 a month, Art will be working with this person every single month and provide all kinds of resources. Now, one thing you mentioned quickly, and I want to go into this, you mentioned that this person will help the church with legacy giving. What does that mean?
Yeah, yeah. So legacy giving this is estate giving or giving when you pass. And this is often the greatest, at least numerical amount that a person gives. It's one of the greatest acts of stewardship that a person has. And unfortunately, oftentimes a person just doesn't put a lot of thought into it. They just simply divide it by the number of kids that they have, and then they call it a day and let that be it. That sometimes may be the right decision. But as stewards of God's resources, certainly there needs to be more thought put into it, looking at what does the Bible say about finances and how does that align with our estate plan, our legacy giving. I have a story where there was a lady who passed away in a church, and she left all of her money to a local hospital. There's nothing wrong with the hospital, but the pastor was wondering, why did she give all of her money to the local hospital? Because she had attended the church for 50 plus years. I mean, this was her
Mm.
home church. Why did she give to the hospital? Eventually, he started asking a few questions to her friends, and they simply said, "Well, Pastor, nobody ever told us that we could give to the church."
Couldn't put it in the
And
will,
that's where
couldn't
a
give
lot of
legacy
people
giving.
are.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of people, there's many people that are telling your congregation what they need to do with their finances. And it's not that a hospital is bad or other nonprofits are bad, but they need to know that, one, this is an act of stewardship that they will be held accountable for by God, and that the local church is an option. This is a place where you can give generously out of your estate. And so that's why this particular role will focus during some seasons of the year on legacy giving. In fact, here in the next fall, there's a month that I already have scheduled out where we're going to focus on legacy giving and doing some type of legacy seminar that will help people understand, one, that this is an act of stewardship, and two, that the local church is a great place to give.
So legacy giving, when people go and meet their Lord, there's an opportunity for this, some of the funds, probably a lot of the funds to go to the church. Uh, the regular budget and increasing the budget and the giving within the church, helping your church members become more generous church givers. All of those roles will fall upon this person in the church. We will help you find that person. We will train that person. You can give a title to that person. You can call them a staff person. We call this my church staff, and you can make that person the minister of stewardship, the director of stewardship, the pastor of stewardship. That's up to you how you call it. But when it's all said and done, the pastor can say, I've got someone here that is looking after the generosity aspect of our church. So 25, I know that we hope in the future to have more than 25 of these positions, Art. but that is
Yeah.
where we're beginning. And once again, in the show notes, info at Church Answers, info at churchanswers.com, and just simply say, I am interested in the stewardship pastor. There are 25 churches that will be able to get this for $100 a month. And believe me, that money will be coming in many other ways that will more than cover this. That you just say, I want this person, put me on the list. And if you're one of the first 25 in November, you will be connected with Art, and Art will begin working with this person. Thoughts that you have on this, Art, before we begin to wrap this up?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that this is not a fundraising position, right? That this is about somebody who is shepherding the hearts of your congregation in this specific area of generosity, living and giving generously, just as our God did for us. And so it's a reflection of the character of God. And so that's what we're trying to do here. Could generosity go up in your church? It's certainly good. That's what we hope, but not because we're chasing after a specific number, but because it's a reflection of what's going on in the hearts of your congregants.
Well, again, the title of this was One Simple Move a Church Can Make to Increase the Giving by 20%. Again, we think that's a good number, but we do know that any church that gets one person focused upon stewardship, we usually think that's the role of big churches. Well, these staff, this my church staff and the stewardship position could be big church, middle church, small size church, but there will be 25 to begin. Once again, go to info at churchanswers.com and say, I would like the stewardship pastor for my church. You'll call this person whatever you want to. We'll help you to find them in your church, and then we will begin the process of Art working with them. Art, thank you for being here. Both your research report and my church staff are some great things that you got going, and we look forward to you. Most people are aware, but that's the side of Church Answers you work with, really the financial side. You do some coaching and certification, but this is the main connection that we have. Christian Money Solutions is Art's site if you ever want to go there. We also have the link for the report, churchfinancialhealth.com. You have that link as well. Go there and you can find out all about what Art does. But the main thing, info at churchanswers.com. I want the stewardship pastor. Put that in your note, in your email to info, and let us know, and we'll make you one of the 25, presuming you get there quickly. All right, before we go, we want to thank California Baptist University, incredible sponsor, been with us for quite a while. I've been on that campus, Riverside. It is beautiful, that California campus, and there's just so many ways you can benefit from their education, but maybe you don't want to go to California. Maybe you can't go to California. They have all of these online programs. You got to pursue them and look at them and look at the possibilities. They come in 8-week modules. So you can, I'm going to take one for 8 weeks and I'm going to take a break. And you just keep on doing that as long as you want till you get a degree, or whether it's a graduate degree or undergraduate degree. They got 36 undergraduate and graduate degrees that they offer, and they can be completed from anywhere in the world. They even got the new one in the bachelor's degree in organizational leadership. That is a great one, and that one's being offered too. So you can see the information in the show notes, and you can go to calbaptist.edu if you want to look it up and find out about it. But it is a great organization. It's a great university, and it is a place where you can, with confidence, send your students, or you can go yourself. Well, Art, thank you for being with us. We'll be looking forward to what's going to happen to my church staff and the stewardship pastor. I'll say it for the fifth and last time, write info at churchanswers.com if you're interested in the stewardship pastor in your church. As always, thank you for being on Rainer on Leadership. Whether that Rainer is Thom or Art or Sam or Jess, we're all Rainers on leadership, and it's a joy to serve you in this ministry. We'll see you later.